the same mistake as 90% of expats living in the Czech Republic. Do you think that the foreign police is the same place as the Ministry of the Interior? So if so, let me explain why it's important to know the difference. Honestly, it's not really important if you just talk about the foreign police or the Ministry of the Interior with your friends and like having beers, because you understand each other. Both the places mean a lot of paperwork and a lot of headache, but besides that, it represents the same thing. But there are some agendas which can only be done at the foreign police, and there are some agendas which can only be done at the Ministry of the Interior. So if you need to deal with those authorities officially, it's very important to know what's the difference between them and what agenda is or what place is responsible for which agenda. So let's start with the foreign police. Things you need to know about the foreign police. First of all, there is only one foreign police branch in Prague. There are no other branches, only the one in Prague 3 in Olšanská 2. There are no other branches. I mean, there are, but there are only for the police officers. So you cannot go there. You cannot do any agenda there. So now let's go to the agenda of the foreign police, because it's important to understand what the foreign police does and what is done by the Ministry of the Interior. So what's the agenda of the Czech foreign police? Generally, the agenda of the foreign police is to find illegal foreigners, illegal immigrants, and deal with them, either deport them or detain them or do something, or as well to protect the borders. But hopefully you will never get to the foreign police because of one of these reasons. So the standard things why people go there are these three agendas. Number one, registration after your arrival. Number two, invitation letters. And number three, confirmation for getting married in the Czech Republic. So let's go through them one by one now. First, registration. Every foreigner who visits the Czech Republic, moves to the Czech Republic, like deals with the Czech Republic in any type, needs to get registered with the foreign police. Non-EU citizens need to do it within 3 days after their arrival. EU citizens also need to do it, but within 30 days after their arrival. Not really many people know about it, and not many people do that. And for EU citizens, it's generally fine. The worst thing that can happen is that you will be fined for not reporting your stay, but no one really cares because it's EU and it doesn't matter anyway. But for non-EU citizens, this is crucial, and it's very important to go there in time and get registered. Of course, you don't really need to do it if your accommodation provider registers you, because, for example, hotels or hostels, Airbnbs, all these accommodation facilities must register you on your behalf. So that's why if you go to the hotel, why you fill in the white form with your name and address and everything, that's the foreign police form, because they need to report it on your behalf. But if you come here and you like start living in your own apartment, or you don't live in any official facility, you live in your friend's house or something, you should officially go to the foreign police and register. If you're a non-EU citizen, then within 3 days. If you are an EU citizen, then within 30 days. What do you need for the foreign police registration? It's not really complicated. You just need to have your passport and a valid visa or residence permit if you need it. Then you need to have a proof of accommodation, proof of having a health insurance, and you need to fill in a registration form, and that's usually it. During COVID, what you also need to present is a negative COVID test and the passenger locator form. But besides that, you just go to the foreign police, you show these documents, and they register you, and that's it. Of course, it can get complicated, especially because the foreign police doesn't really speak any foreign language, only Czech. But I must say that from my personal experience now, they're trying. So they know a few words, and they try to communicate with you. But in general, people at the foreign police do not really speak any foreign languages. So that's how it is here. So that was the registration after arrival. Then the foreign police is also responsible for invitation letters. That usually applies to people who are non-EU citizens, who need visa to even visit the Czech Republic, and who want to invite their parents, for example, or their family members or friends or someone. So you can do that, and you do it at the foreign police. So you go there, you show that you have enough money to cover the whole stay of the person you're inviting. You provide details of the person. You provide proof of accommodation that they will have somewhere to live. Then you fill in a form electronically on the computer at the foreign police station. And then they print it, and 7 days later you can pick it up, and then your family member or whoever you are inviting can apply for a visa based on this invitation letter. So that's the second agenda the foreign police is responsible for. And the third agenda the foreign police is responsible for is a confirmation for the purpose of marriage in the Czech Republic. Because if you want to get married in the Czech Republic, it doesn't matter if you live here long term, you have a visa, a residence permit, or if you just come here as a tourist and you want to get married in the Czech Republic, you always need to get a confirmation from the foreign police that you are legal in the Czech Republic and that you can get married. And that's done by the foreign police. It's only valid for 7 days, so you need to plan it well in regards to your wedding day. So that's the agenda of the foreign police in the Czech Republic. And let's go now to the MOI, to the Ministry of the Interior. So what agenda is the Ministry of the Interior responsible for? In general, it's everything concerning a long-term stay. So all types of long-term visas, long-term residence permits. And now I'm frozen on Facebook. So I'll just wait for a second. For those of you on YouTube, okay, I'm back. Thank you very much. So I'll start again. What is the agenda the Ministry of the Interior is responsible for? So everything related to a long-term stay in the Czech Republic. So all types of long-term visas, long-term residence permits, permanent residence permits, temporary residence permits for family members of EU citizens, registration certificates for EU citizens, all the extensions, all the changes of purpose of stay, all the history, like history of residence, for example, everything related to staying in the Czech Republic long term. And one of the main agendas of them is also registering changes, because as a foreigner living in the Czech Republic, you're obliged to report some changes within some legal deadlines. And what are the changes you need to report to the ministry in any case within given deadlines? It's mainly the change of your address, change of your marital status, change of your name, and change of your passport. Change of address needs to be reported within 30 days after the change happened. So if you move your address, you need to report it within 30 days. Marital status, change of name, those should be reported within 3 to 15 days. And a new passport, if the old passport expires or you lose it or whatever, and you get a new passport, you should report those within 3 business days to the Ministry of the Interior. And now, how many offices are there? How many offices of the Ministry of the Interior are there in Prague? In general, there are 4 main offices of the Ministry of the Interior. First is in Žukovského in Prague 6. Second is in Cigánkova in Prague 4. Third is in Hladkov in Prague 6, I believe. And the last one is in Kolbenova in Prague 9. There is one secret branch as well, but it's only meant for companies like Škoda or like really huge companies dealing with foreigners, so they have a special branch, but you cannot really go there normally. So now let's go through the different branches one by one, and I will always tell you my opinion about them. So the Ministry of the Interior branch in Prague 6 in Žukovského. In my opinion, that's the best one of all, because they have plenty of available appointments. The branch is new. There is everything around that. It's a bit further from the center. You need to take a metro and then you take a bus to that branch. But it has everything. There is a supermarket, restaurants, there is a drugstore, there is everything. So if you need to wait there for a couple of hours, you can just go out, have a cafe or have a coffee in a cafe or have a lunch and you can come back. And there are also the vending machines inside. And the branch in general is very new and very nice. It's kind of pleasant to be there. On the other hand, for example, the MOI branch in Prague 4 in Cigánkova, that's the worst branch. Maybe the Hladkov will be the same. I'll discuss it later. But Cigánkova is very, very strange and old and ugly building. It's first of all, it's in the middle of nowhere. It's like literally there is nothing around. There are just fields and nothing. Now there is a new car wash, but that's not much better now. So that's one thing. Second thing, it's very old. So I've seen like 2 times, I believe we were there with clients, and the toilets broke and the toilet water was leaking all around the first floor. So there was like this much of water, and one of our clients dropped a coat into that. So not really a pleasant experience. Another thing is that they never open the branch before they officially open. I mean that if they open at 8, they just let you wait outside until 8. And waiting outside means waiting on the rain, snow, in cold, in heat, whatever there is, because there is no shelter, nothing. There is one tree which you can hide under if it's raining, but that's it. So if you need to wait from the morning, this is the worst branch. And appointments there are kind of okay, not as good as in Zhukovského, but definitely better than in other branches. So then the MOI branch in Prague, the MOI branch in Hladkov, that's a student branch. So you cannot go there if you're not a student. But it's, I don't know. I have no words for that because I haven't seen anything like that in a very long time. It's just, first, you cannot go there without an appointment. So you always need to have an appointment. And the appointments are usually booked, depends on the agenda, but it's usually booked for weeks or even months in advance. Second, the building is also kind of close to the castle, but still kind of like very far away from everything. It's very old. The people there are, some of them are nice, and if you're nice to them, then they can be nice to you. But some of them are really like, you don't really want to deal with them much. On the other hand, I understand that it's like difficult to deal with students because I've seen it there, and like the last 3 days before the school ends or school starts, it's like packed. Why would people do it in advance if they can wait for the very last time, right? So it must be a very difficult job and difficult to deal with that, but still, I don't really like this branch. And the last one is the MOI branch in Kolbenova. It's kind of the newest one. It's the smallest one as well. And it's the weirdest one because there have been always some changes. That first, you could not go there without an appointment. Now you can do that. Then it was responsible only for this part of Prague. Now it's responsible for another part of Prague. And it's kind of, it's in the middle of administrative building. So there is not really, it's a small waiting room and nothing really like there. And the waiting room is on a different floor than the actual counters. So it's kind of a strange branch. But on the other hand, the people there are amazing. I've only had great experience there. If you need to go there, all the people there are like the ministry officers are very helpful, and they're really like, I really appreciate the work there because they're really nice and they're really trying to help. So if you could choose, I would recommend going to the branch in Kolbenova, but you cannot really choose because you need to go to the branch where you belong under. So that was the official part. Now it's usually time for questions, but I don't see any questions coming right now. So I'll probably just finish the stream and we'll see you next time. Thank you guys. Bye.